What is going on, guys? We are back, Culture Crooks, but it's solo dolo. I'm here alone. Weep, weep. My boy's in Thailand. Sad days. Got to do this all alone again. But it's all good. He's out there getting his work in, getting ready for his upcoming fight. I'm not gonna announce who he's fighting or when, but it's looking like there will be a fight coming up soon, relatively soon for D-Rod. His suspension has been lifted. It came back that his supplements were tainted, so he did nothing illegal. It's all good in the hood. But yeah, I've talked to him. He's settling into Thailand, getting in his training. He tells me it's hot. It's different. I've obviously been out there. I've lived out there before, so I know what it's like, and it can be tough to adjust to. I told him it'll take him like 10 to 12 days. It's a big time zone change, and once, after a couple weeks, he'll start to feel like himself again. But he's already up to getting hard training sessions in daily, and looking forward to the comeback. Hopefully can be a part of it. Obviously, I'm waiting on my surgery. It's coming up, and then I can hit the road to recovery. Otherwise, feel pretty good. Just been chilling. Just been lifting weights, and just been hanging out, man. It's been like just a little over a month since the fight. I'm starting to kind of get a little bit crazy in regards to missing training, and feel like I'm getting soft and shit. It's just weird. It's a weird feeling, but I'm adjusting to it, dealing with it, and just trying to pass the time as quickly as I can, I guess, while enjoying it at the same time. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that are involved with the show. So, of course, N2BM, N2 Guard, best multivitamin supplement that you can get on the market. Highly recommended. I've been taking it for quite some time now. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And then I want to give a shout out to Better Through Biology. They gave me a bunch of products getting ready for my past fight. One of these products that I really enjoy taking is this Hebe. It's actually NAD. It's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. That's what NAD stands for. But I've been injecting this twice a week. I've done NAD drips before, but I've never personally had to inject it before. But I get the same feeling I did when I did the drip. Feel good, feel clear, feel it working. So if you're ever looking for some pretty dope stuff with Better Through Biology, I check them out. Check them out on Instagram. You can drop into their website. They're really dope. They know what they're talking about, so feel free to reach out to them as well. And then, of course, the homies over at Grower Circle, shout out to them, always providing me with the best green in Las Vegas. Got the Pellegrino. This was their High Times first place winner. And then we got the Double Down with Grower Circle as well. It's super, super, super high quality. I love the quality of the bud that they provide, and we're gonna do a little piece later on talking about the UFC picks. Collaborating with Grower Circle for picks of the week for UFC 296. There's definitely some good picks this weekend, so we're gonna go over them shortly. And we'll talk about some other stuff as well, talking about, the Ian Gary controversy, if you want to call it that, that's going through social media. We'll talk about a couple things that have been coming up in social media and trending in the mainstream. Again, thanks to everybody involved, all the sponsors that are involved that are helping keep the show growing. And obviously shout out to the homie D-Rod. He's getting his shit going out in Thailand. So, check him out, say what's up, show him love as he's, getting back into things and getting ready for the biggest fight of his career whenever that's around the corner. Hopefully he'll be fighting in California, ideally. So that would be pretty dope. But yeah, let's get into this massive UFC card this weekend. This is probably the biggest card of the year in terms of the fights on the card. You know what? I know D-Rod says I never smoke, but let's rip the bong before we get into these fights, before we get into these picks. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in at least my picks for this weekend. And hopefully we can all walk away with a bunch of money on Saturday night. So, again, I'm smoking, I believe I'm smoking the Double Down with Grower Circle. So, if you're in Vegas, I definitely recommend them. You check them out. They're fire. So, here we go. Yeah, perfect. Hit the spot. All right. So let's get into these fight picks or these fights in general. So we're fighting. They got the fights here in Vegas. First fight. If this is the first fight on the card, I'm surprised it's a very high-level fight. Got Randy Brown and Muslim Salikov, welterweight fight. Both of these guys very experienced in the UFC now. Salikov's, up there in age, 39 years old, coming off a loss to Nicholas Dalby, who's just kind of been on a roll himself lately. Then you got Randy Brown. I think last time I saw him fight, that's right, he beat Wellington Turman before losing to Jack Della Maddalena. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a good spot for Randy to, outstrike Muslim here, possibly with his length and range boxing-wise. But, again, Muslim, you don't know what you're going to get with him. Sometimes he's on it, sometimes he's not. So, that's a fight I'm not betting on. But if I had to take who I think is going to win, I'm probably going to go with Randy Brown. But that's a great first fight of the night. And here's a fight that I'm interested in, Shamil Gaziev and Martin Buday. I really like Shamil Gaziev. It's his debut in the UFC, but I think it's his debut in UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Let me clarify. Correct, yeah, he won off the Contender Series. But I think he can cause the upset here against Martin Buday. Martin Buday is undefeated in the UFC. He beat Lorenzo Hood in the Contender Series and has gone on a 4-fight win streak over Chris Barnett, Lucas Brzeski, who in my opinion is terrible, Jake Collier, and Josh Parisian, if you look at this side of the guys he's beaten, they are the lower side in terms of level of heavyweight. But I feel like Shamil Gaziev's the real deal. And I think he's going to cause the upset. I don't even know if he's still the underdog, but I saw the odds yesterday, and he was like plus 150. So he's definitely someone that I would sprinkle some money or throw in a parlay. I think there's some upside on that bet. So, yeah, keep an eye on that for sure. And the fight after that, we got Andre Fili and Lucas Almeida. Lucas Almeida, this is his third UFC fight. He has a win over Michael Trezano, and then he lost to Pat Sabatini by submission. Andre Fili, he's a vet, experienced guy, been in the UFC for a long time. And, he's coming off a loss to Nathaniel Wood, which was it was a really close fight. Arguably, I thought maybe he won the fight, dropped him a bunch of times. But, this is a tough one to fight, a tough fight to pick, honestly. Obviously, with the experience of Fili, that definitely edges him in terms of being the favorite. But you just never know with these up-and-coming Brazilians. They're tough. If I had to pick between the two, I would probably go with Andre Fili. But honestly, this is a tough one. It's a tough one to go. So I wouldn't throw my money at it, but I would go Andre Fili just based on the experience. He has 32 pro fights and Almeida has 16. literally half. So I'm gonna edge on the side of the experience on this fight, but I wouldn't put my money on it. And then we got Tagir Ulanbekov and Cody Durden. Tough fight. Tough fight. Yeah, I don't know what I did there. Cody Durden. That's a tough fight to call. I mean, I'm probably gonna edge Tagir, but Cody's a tough wrestler. He brings it. But yeah, I think Tagir possibly edges it. Not sure how he's going to stand up in terms of the level of grappling that Cody brings. I'm not 100% sure his level in terms of his grappling. So again, this is not a fight that I recommend you throw money at in terms of like, big money, anything like that. So I like to, if I was to do a parlay and add in all these guys, it would, these, you heard who I like. But like I said, so far out of the picks, I like Gaziev as like a solid underdog play. But this fight I would stay away from. But I'm going to edge Tagir. And then next up, we got Alonzo Menafield and Dustin Jacoby. I'm big on Dustin Jacoby. I think he gets this one done against Alonzo Menafield. I think he's just a better striker, better at range, longer guy, high-level kickboxer. And yeah, just someone, I mean, you saw what happened when Jacoby fought Khalil Roundtree, who just came off a fantastic win on the weekend. So I just feel like Dustin's at a higher level than Alonzo. And yeah, I think Dustin gets it done. So that's someone that I feel kind of confident I would throw some money on. So yeah, so far I got, like I told you guys, Gaziev and Dustin. Those two right there, those are solid plays. And then we got Casey O'Neill versus Ariane Lipsky. To be honest with you, I have no idea who wins this fight. This is just... it could go any way, really. Lipsky, she's I think she's more of a striker, and then Casey's more of a grappler. I think Casey's the favorite going in, but Casey coming off, I believe, a loss, but to a high-level, experienced fighter. And what's her name? Let me take a look at the record. Jennifer Maya. Yeah, so that was her first loss of her career, so she's probably coming back super motivated to get the win. So I don't know. I'll probably edge O'Neill, but for the very most, Ariane Lipsky can definitely get it done. She's a pretty strong striker. She has the ability to KO people. She's on a 2-fight winning streak right now. Beat JJ Aldridge and Melissa Gatto. So yeah, that's, again, women's MMA is always hard to call, in my opinion. Anything can happen in any fight, but this one's a tough one for me to put money on. So I'm gonna lean Casey just because of the level of grappling. But shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Lipsy somehow pulls it off too. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. But next up, this is another one that I'm interested in terms of the betting line. We got Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. I really like Cody Garbrandt in this one. I just think he's better everywhere, honestly, than Kelleher. I mean, obviously Kelleher's he's coming off of 2 losses in a row, both by submission to high-level guys. But in terms of like what I've seen, his abilities, I feel like Cody has the ability to piece him up standing. Obviously Cody's fallen off from when he was champ, but I still think he can get it done. He came off a win against Trevin Jones. He won a unanimous decision. Obviously lost to Kaikara France, went down in weight, lost to Rob Font, beat Rafael Sansao. But he was the guy. And then went through TJ Dillashaw, 2 knockouts, then got knocked out by Pedro Munoz. So I hope he's in a good mental spot going in, because when he's on it, this dude's like really, really good. But Kelleher is super experienced too. And he has some solid wins. It's not like he seems to lose to like the higher echelon fighters in the division, but has some good wins. He beat Renan Barao. But this is this is definitely an interesting fight. But I like Cardi. I'm gonna go with Cody on this one. I'm willing to throw him potentially in a parlay or chuck some money at him. He's a favorite. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Here's another fight with Irene Aldana and Carol Rosa. Again, another fight I'm staying away from. I have no idea who wins this one. I mean, Irene got some good boxing, but Carol probably tried to pursue the takedown, and if she gets the takedown, we'll probably be able to control her on the ground. So it's one of those fights that kind of can be a coin flip. So I'm staying away from that betting wise. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go Carol Rosa. And then I believe we're on to the main card now, the pay-per-view. So we got Josh Emmett versus the late replacement Bryce Mitchell. I definitely think, this is a close fight. They turned the odds over to Josh Emmett, on Josh Emmett being the dog who's coming in on a full camp against Bryce coming off his couch kind of sort of thing. And we've seen how that's kind of trended in recent memory of people coming in on short notice. So I think this is a lot closer fight than we thought. In terms of the grappling, obviously Bryce is, that's his thing, wrestling and grappling. Josh Emmett's more of I guess kind of like a power puncher. He got some serious power, but he's coming off some losses. This is a hard one for me to pick, honestly. Last time Bryce Mitchell fought, I bet against him, and he kind of surprised me that he was able to get the better of Dan Ige. But Josh Emmett is coming off of two losses, obviously fighting against Yair Rodriguez and Ilia Topuria. That's the guys at the top of the division. So this Bryce Mitchell fight is obviously an important fight for him. But Bryce Mitchell, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who's the guy in this fight, honestly. It's going to be a good fight, that's for sure, but I can't really, I'm not putting money on it. I'm not sure who's going to come out of this one. I'm going to say Bryce Mitchell gets it done. I don't know. For some reason, just think like maybe he can, but I mean, Josh Emmett could also get it done. So I'm kind of stuck on that one. So yeah. And then we got Ian Machado Gary versus Vicente Luque. This is definitely a highlight fight of the night that people want to see. With all the controversy going around with Ian Machado and his wife's ex-husband and all the other nonsense that's going on there. I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, it is what it is. I mean, whatever's going on is whatever's going on. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I don't fuck with that kind of stuff in terms of my ex's husband being my nutritionist. I don't know. I think it's a bit sus, but yeah, I know he's being called a cuck, this, that, and the other. And he's super young too. He's like 26 years old, and his wife's like 40. I've met both of them. I've interacted with his wife and Ian before Karate Combat and at the UFC. So I don't know. They seem like they're all right people. Definitely, I was just like kind of surprised to hear like the details unfold of the situation. Obviously, everyone's like, "Oh, that's wild." But yeah, definitely not my thing. And I'm sure he's gonna be like he's for sure like I wouldn't say hated, but he's like the most laughed at like top fighter in the UFC after this kind of situation came out. I would say like people going in hard, and then he came out with that the hype video, and like the comments in there is just like absolute abuse. That's so funny. Yeah, there's so much abuse coming his way. So yeah, it sucks, to have to go through that when you're in like such a high position of attention. You do one kind of thing wrong or situation unfolds that people don't like. Yeah, you get a lot of heat. And it's not always going to be very positive. If anything, it's going to be more negative. So that sucks, and he has to deal with it. But I don't think it's going to affect him on the fight. I think he's going to go out there and get it done against Vicente Luque and just kind of give like the double middle fingers to everybody, sort of thing. Into it, honestly. Yeah, he might as well take the role of villain as heel. You'll make a lot of money doing it because everyone's going to tune in and want to see if you can get knocked out. So I mean, Vicente's legit. I've trained with Vicente in the past, but Ian's very big and quick. So yeah, it'll be super interesting to see how that unfolds, how that goes. But I'm leaning to add Gary to a parlay for sure, just to kind of juice up the odds a little bit. And then we got Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. Obviously, this is kind of like another one, big on the media with Tony Ferguson and David Goggins. And then of course Paddy Pimblett brings in a lot of views as well, coming off of his controversial win over Jared Gordon. So it'll be an interesting fight for sure. I 100% think it's interesting. But as much as I love Tony Ferguson, I think Paddy Pimblett will get it done. The younger fighter. He hits hard. And I just feel like Tony doesn't have, as good as Tony is mentally and technically and just physically, but I just feel like, yeah, I feel like he gets cracked hard by Paddy Pimblett, like he's gonna go out, like I just see that kind of situation happening. I don't think he got too much left, in the tank. I felt like that quite a while ago about Tony, but of course I want him to win, and I hope he wins and pulls it off. But in terms of betting, I'm gonna throw my money. Excuse me. Throw my money at Paddy Pimblett. It's another juicer for the parlay. Juice up the odds a little bit. And then we got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Thompson. Again, this is an interesting fight. Look, this can go two ways. Either Shavkat, wrestles and smashes Stephen Thompson, which, is highly likely given the abilities of Shavkat's, wrestling and ground game. He's 17-0, undefeated. Whereas if Shavkat decides, okay, I'm going to try to go toe-to-toe with the striker in Wonderboy, Wonderboy could definitely piece up Shavkat. But I'm leaning towards the grapplers. Usually that's the safer side to go towards, especially if the other person isn't much of a grappler. So yeah, that's why Shavkat is such a huge favorite. I think he's like the biggest favorite on the card. So I would definitely take Shavkat. That's definitely the fighter to take in this situation, especially now that he's trying to fight for the title. And the welterweight title is only a couple fights next. So I definitely like Shavkat here, and this probably set him up for the winner potentially of Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. But we have another title fight where we have current UFC flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja and Brandon Royval. So they're duking it out at 125 for the belt. This is Pantoja's first title defense. So yeah, it's a good fight, but I'm going to be leaning on the side of Pantoja here. I think this is a great first fight for his defense, to get his first defense at flyweight. Obviously, Royval, 15-6, coming off of a 3-fight win streak, just beat Matthias Nicolau, Matt Schnell, and Rogerio Bontorin. So they've actually fought before, Pantoja and Royval, and Pantoja submitted him in the second round. So, as champion going into a fight where you've already beaten your opponent is definitely a massive confidence boost. So I'm assuming Pantoja's the favorite, and for every reason, I'm gonna lean Pantoja. I think he gets it done, maybe even by finish potentially. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning Pantoja to get this victory. And then of course we got the main event. I hear Donald Trump's gonna be in the house to watch Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards. Very interesting fight. Obviously, Leon Edwards hasn't fought since defending against Kamaru Usman. He beat him two times. And then Colby Covington hasn't fought since, I think he beat George Masvidal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's been a while. Obviously, Colby's record is pretty much spotless, except for his 2 losses to Tyron Woodley in the most, in most recent times. But Leon Edwards has evolved and become a pretty damn good fighter. He's on how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fight win streak going in to fight Colby. Honestly, like probably since yesterday or this morning, I was like super, super, super high on like Leon Edwards, 100%, like just coming through and getting it done without a doubt and throwing that on the parlay. But now I'm a little bit uneasy on that decision now because I thought about a couple things. First of all, Colby Covington has been training at altitude this camp, at 10,000 feet apparently. I just saw like a little clip on YouTube. They're out in Colorado, and then of course Vegas is at 2,000 feet altitude, and then Leon Edwards is based in Birmingham, and they're at like 500 feet altitude. And I'm not 100% sure where Leon Edwards has done his training camp, but I'm hoping he's done something because honestly, he's gassed before, and the kind of pace that Colby brings definitely gives you the ability to get tired. Because like Kamaru fights like more of like a strength style where he he tries to like manhandle you to get you down. Whereas I feel like Colby's got like unlimited gas tank, so he can just shoot even if your shots don't feel strong and like you don't need to use a ton of strength and power to like defend them. He can just continuously keep doing that until you start to get tired, to the point where like his weaker attempts are now like deep and strong, and he takes you down and then starts to wear you out. So like now I'm seeing like another route for Colby to win this fight, because if Colby brings like a super high level press and wrestling game, like he could potentially like outwork the champ in Leon Edwards, just because like he's never been a wrestler like that, like it's just different. And of course like Kamaru had bad knees, etc. Like Colby has always just kind of been known to have that ability to just press. And if you think about it, like Leon Edwards and George Masvidal, like both high level strikers with like decent takedown defense. Obviously Leon Edwards is probably better than George in that regard, but that's kind of where the question is, like, can he take him down? And I just feel like if it stays standing, like Leon Edwards destroys him. You know what I'm saying? But it's an interesting fight. I'm leaning Leon Edwards, but yeah, that's gonna be a sick ass fight. So if I'm gonna put a parlay together, it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna go with that first pickup that I talked about, the big fella at heavyweight, Shamil Gaziev. He's 11-0 against Martin Buday. I would start with him, throw him in there, and then I would go with Dustin Jacoby, throw that one in there. Then I'm going Cody Garbrandt, throw that one in there. And then I'm going Machado Gary, Paddy Pimblett, Rachmanov, Pantoja. And then depending on what that gets on the odds, I'm going to calculate it right now in a second. And then I would even potentially throw either or Leon Edwards and Colby Covington on two sides of a parlay, just to round it off to see what happens. But let me just take a look at the odds and stuff, and let's see what the parlay gets created from it. So we got, let's just go Leon Edwards, Pantoja, Dustin Jacoby, Cody Garbrandt, Gaziev. Yeah, Gaziev, a lot of money's coming in on Gaziev. He was like plus 150. Now he's at plus 115. So yeah, I would get in on that. And who else we said? We said Pimblett. We said Gary, Rachmanov. So I think that's everybody. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay, so that's not bad. So that's an 8-legger right there with Leon Edwards. That's plus 2,000. So if you put $100 down, let's just say you put $100 down, you get paid out $2,000. I mean, you could obviously play less. Let's just say $25. You're looking at $500. I like that parlay there. with Leon Edwards. And then if you were to, let's say, take Leon Edwards off that parlay and throw my guy Colby Covington, who's plus odds, it's going to juicy up your odds to 3,000. So if you were to
25.
no, if you were to bet $25, you'd make $770
I'm doing
off
that. I'm
25.
I'm putting
25. Yeah. So that's kind of my advice for this weekend. I'm going to be playing those. So that's my advice out there to everybody in terms of that. So let's hope that those hit, and I would jump on it soon, especially if you want to play single stuff, because Gaziev his line is changing. So I would definitely be wary of that. We're recording today's Wednesday, right? So yeah, definitely got some time for that stuff to change. So I would jump on it as soon as possible, and get on it. But yeah, that's kind of like my, I guess, overview of the fights coming up this weekend. So definitely tune in, take a look. Let me know what your picks are, what you think is going to happen, and let's see what goes down. But yeah, Merab Davashvili getting matched up with Henry Cejudo. That's a big fight. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see Henry and Merab back in the cage. Henry, obviously, his last fight, I think, was against Aljamain. And then, right? Was it Aljamain? I think it was. And then Merab's last fight was that domination of Piotr Jan. So, yeah, it'll be good. And I think that will line up the contender fight. Whoever wins that, obviously, will fight for the title. And then and then Sean O'Malley fights Chito Vera. So, we'll see what happens with that. I think that's in the new year in February. And then
last fight was against Aljamain.
yeah, and then the UFC recently just signed. I don't know if you guys have seen, but they just signed a 6'7" heavyweight Taekwondo world champion, who's 3-0 now in MMA, all knockouts. So yeah, the dude is a big monster dude. I think he's Cuban. So keep an eye out on him. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the UFC. I'm sure they'll match him up with some good fights to get his career going, especially if he's super exciting and brings an entertaining style to the cage. So definitely keep an eye out on that. Take a look and see what you think. That could be the next potential heavyweight champion, another monster in there. So yeah, it's always good to see up-and-comers, especially no-namers that you never heard of. Place like Cuba too, they're creating monsters out there.
Yoel Romero just fused disc next.
Yeah, imagine he's just another Yoel Romero, but a striking version.
6'7".
Yes, 6'7" monster. So yeah, no, that's kind of some of the news in terms of the UFC. I was watching the Champions League yesterday. My team, Manchester United, got eliminated. They fucking sucked. They lost to Bayern Munich at home. I don't know if there's many of you guys are soccer fans, but yeah, it's not going well for my team. Hasn't been going well for them for a while. It's depressing to watch those motherfuckers play. But yeah, I've been tuning in to the Champions League, checking them out, playing a little bit of bets here and there. And then the NFL, we got NFL going down. We had some big stuff happening with the Chiefs and Eagles and Bills, and there were some good games going on these last couple weekends. Cowboys. So yeah, it's interesting to see. So it was good to see the Giants win against Green Bay. So yeah, NFL starting to get juicy now. We got playoff chases going and people trying to play to get to the playoffs. So wild card spots, stuff like that. So things are getting crazy over this period now, December, January. So yeah, sports are dope this time of year. It's always fun, especially if you're winning bets and placing bets. So hopefully we hit this weekend with the UFC. But yeah, otherwise, just chilling, getting ready for surgery, just kind of enjoying life a little bit in terms of just taking it easy, not having to feel sore from training or exhausted, but at the same time I feel like I'm also wasting time, if that makes sense. But yeah, just staying on top of my work, just thinking of plans and plots to take over the world, and yeah, just fucking kicking it. Got the homie Malik. He's looking to be fighting soon. Fighting as an amateur is like your ability is it's like you get to test your tools and not have to risk like fucking up your professional record, so don't stress too much in regards to like the weight, but in terms of just feeling good and being ready. So yeah, he's staying ready in case he gets some kind of matchup coming up. I'm gonna try to talk to some people and see if I don't know when the next amateur tough enough is here in Vegas. It'd be ideal for you to fight in Vegas, so you don't gotta go nowhere. And see if we can get you matched up in the new year. Hopefully they got something in January, but I'm sure they'll get something going, and I'll be able to ask them to match you up. What weight would you fight at?
155.
155. Yeah. So, yeah, get Malik in there, get him going. That's the homie from Hong Kong that I got started on the journey of MMA, and
Now we're here.
yeah, now we're here. Now I'm injured, and he's getting ready to take the torch from me. Nah,
Shout out
fuck
Syndicate.
that.
They've been so great, dude. It's been awesome.
Syndicate's
Really
been good. Yeah, good coaching there for you, and good people to train with, and yeah, it's the good start. That's where I started in Vegas, the Syndicate, and they've only been good to me, good people. So yeah, I that's why I recommended them for you, and I think you'll definitely benefit as long as you keep working and you're impressing all the coaches, and you show that you want to be there, and you continue to grind. Like, the only thing that will happen is going to be opportunities and getting to do what you want to do. So you're in the right place, and yeah, it's dope. It's cool to have people from where I'm from be able to come out and like get involved in the system that produces high level fighters and professional athletes and fighters. So yeah, Vegas is a dope place. I like being here. I think it's a good place, especially if you're a young fighter, and if there's ever an opportunity for you to get out to Vegas, especially if you're trying to pursue the highest level. It's a good place to be for sure. And as I was talking before earlier in the episode about altitude, you're at altitude, and within 30 minutes you can be at 7,000 feet. Vegas is good for that. And yeah, there's lots of positives. Good food out here, good training out here. I like the weather out here. It's a bit chilly right now, but it's December.
And it's nice and sunny still every day.
Yeah, it's sunny every day. So like this morning, I was like sun gazing, just staring into the sun and enjoying like the sun. Even though it's kind of cool, it's like still nice. You're getting your UV rays, your vitamin D. Yeah, and it's just it's a cool place to be. So if you're a young up and coming fighter, I definitely recommend it. And yeah, so we'll see what Malik has in store in the new year. I'm gonna kind of start documenting my surgery, all that bullshit once it happens. Once I have surgery and stuff, kind of do an episode after that and just kind of discuss what's going down in terms of the recovery, how I feel. Yeah, I'm not 100% super excited for it, obviously. I'm like, it's just such a shitty fucking situation. But yeah, once it gets done, then I can obviously have more of a focus. Now I just feel like I'm in limbo, just kind of like fucking chilling. But yeah, just fucking, we'll see what happens once this happens, and then yeah, hopefully like 3 or 4 months, I'll start being able to do some shit. I'll have Malik come in and just kind of we'll like move around lightly and like just kind of start moving again, because I don't want to be. I'm really the most. The one thing I'm most not looking forward to coming back to is like the first day back to training. Like that first week back to training.
Like my first day when you took me to Syndicate, and I just threw up instantly because you're so out of shape.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen to me, bro. Like 100%. Like I know that's coming. Everything's going to hurt so much. Everything's going to suck. I'm not going to be able to last like a fucking round. Like I'm already a month out of like not training, and I'm like, yeah, it's gone. Like,
It's gone.
I mean, yeah, for the most part. Like I've still been like hitting the bag a little bit, just like kind of not moving a lot, but like just upper body. I'm trying to like keep my upper body like active in terms of like the muscles in my shoulders and arms, just like with output and like throwing stuff. Because yeah, I know you need to, but like I'm not trying to like turn and like torque too much, but I'm still trying to have like the conditioning and endurance in my upper body. Because like fuck, like I'm not looking forward to just gassing, dog. Like just trying to do anything where I can like imagine. And the grappling too, dude. Like
Oh, that's the worst.
I already get tired grappling, so it's like fuck, that's gonna be terrible, dog.
It's like such a different level of tired too, though.
It's next level, especially when you're not conditioned for it. Like it just fucking is so tiring. It's the hardest sport on the planet, honestly.
It is for sure.
It really
is. You're like, oh, I can get tired. I've been tired before. If you've never experienced grappling, like tiredness, it's just like the heaviest wet blanket on top of you,
and they're not tired.
Yeah, not at all. Just they're ready to go 5 more rounds.
They're just like chilling, like flowing, like someone that's just in shape versus like you just coming back. It's so terrible. And I've already accepted like my ego. There is gonna be no ego. Like you're gonna have to understand, like you gotta work your way back, but it's gonna be so fucking shit. Even striking wise, I'm gonna be getting hit by like fucking bums. Like, oh, it's gonna be terrible. Not. I mean, maybe not, but still, I'm gonna gas. And just like getting kicked and hit in the body, like I almost want to like have you just like come over and just like just beat me up, just beat me up, like just so I'm conditioned. You know what I mean? Not so I'm like fucking so soft that I take like one body kick, I'm like ow. Yeah, like I don't want that shit. Like I can literally like get kicked and hit, and I'm just like chilling, you know. But like when you take time off from doing it, it's just
your
like
body's not used to it anymore. You're like, oh,
no, you
lose
leg kicks, low kicks, calf kicks. Everything's gonna just be like fuck. But it'll be alright.
It's that.
Hopefully, I'm like conditioned to a certain extent that this time off that I do have off isn't like too detrimental.
Like wearing on too much.
Yeah, maybe it's like the rest I need, and then plus all the shit that I'm taking like to help with my recovery. Once I have that surgery, that'll help and speed me up in that regard. Who knows?
Time off can make things set as well, so it's like.
Well, like every day I've been like visualizing stuff and like technique wise, and also just kind of working on certain things. It's not like I'm just sitting in a fucking on the couch all day doing nothing. But yeah, it's annoying. Like I just want to be like, yeah, I wanted to fucking throw a head kick, but I just like I'm not supposed to. Like I can, but I just don't want to fucking make it worse, or because like I know it's like not completely torn. So it's like there's a chance that shit's still hanging on and can be repaired. So I like can't like push it to the limit. So yeah.
I'd rather have it like that and rather than just blow your knee off completely.
Yeah. And like I'm strengthening it and like taking stuff that hopefully help it grow. So like I don't know. We'll see. Obviously the surgeon will only tell me once she opens up my knee, and that's when I'll make the decision. But yeah, it sucks. Don't recommend it. Do your exercises.
ACL, don't recommend it.
Highly unrecommended. But yeah, it's part of the process, part of the journey. Tons of people that I know have gone through it. Tons of athletes have gone through it and come back from it. So I'm not like too worried about that. But it's just like fuck. Yeah, it's a process, and it just takes time from me making money. Like I'm not able to compete. Like. You know, I had a lot of expectations from my last fight, and then I was hoping to compete this week when they have karate combat. So those are all opportunities to make more money, you know, and now it's like delayed by at least like six to 9 months potentially. So we'll see what the new year has in store, but who knows? We'll just hope and be positive, and then in that meantime, I'll be the best video game player in the world. You know, that's another thing. I've been playing more PS5 lately. Got the FC24, I guess the like FIFA replacement, and then been playing a bit of Call of Duty, or I've been making Malik play on my Call of Duty.
We'll get a Twitch set up soon. So
oh yeah, he's supposed to help me with like set up a Twitch account.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to watch Sasha play FIFA or play whatever, or if you guys have suggestions.
Yeah, because I never thought to set up Twitch, but now I'm probably gonna set up one so you guys can watch me play some games and see how fucking sick I am. No, I'm joking. It'll just be Malik probably on Call of Duty for me, but nah, we'll try to get that set up, and then I'm gonna post more information about it. I'm gonna be a Twitch streamer, guys, and I'm gonna like fucking show my tits. So you guys should definitely get involved. I don't know. We'll figure that shit out. I'm way sicker at FIFA or FC 24 than I am at Call of Duty, but gotta practice and get better at it. And I have some more games coming in, so yeah. Just first time playing the PS5. It's cool. I haven't really had the new console for a minute. I had a PS4, but haven't really fucked with it for like over a year. And then yeah, and then like they had the shortage of being able to get a PS5, and I kind of like lost the desire to have one because I'm like, that's kind of annoying. And then now they're like readily available, and I'm like, oh well, I'm a disabled cripple now, so I might as well get one.
They're like $700-800 for 2 years.
Yeah,
It's so expensive.
you could buy it, but it was like 800, yeah, $700-800 for no reason. I just went and bought one, and it was like after taxes and shit, it was like $540 with one controller, and then obviously I had to get another controller and some games. Now I'm homeless, but no, but it's just one of those things. It definitely, it's like completely unnecessary, in terms of like it does absolutely nothing for you, but it's like if you want to do something in terms of take some time to consume, video games are good. But no, it's fun. I grew up on video games. And I can play, but I can't put in like chunks of time. Like max can be like 2 hours, and then I'm like, I gotta call it. If I'm like winning, I keep playing, but everyone's just better than me. So it's just like how long can I get my ass beat before I'm done getting my ass beat? So yeah, that's kind of my experience, because I go straight, like for example on FC 24, I go straight to playing like online against people, like, and then it just like once you get through the first few seasons where you just like fuck everybody up who sucks, and then like you start playing like the people that are good, and then they just fuck you up, and then you're just like, oh, this is no fun. And you're just like, oh, I'm losing every game. Like I'm on a 26 game losing streak. Hasn't been the case yet. The most I think I've lost in a row is 4. My record, I believe right now, is like 25 and like 29 and like a couple draws, so I'm a little under 500, but like I said, it's not looking like it's gonna get any closer like, to like above. It's gonna start. No. It's probably gonna start going lower, like more losses, because like the better I get, the harder the levels, and people are so much better, and I just get matched up with absolute fucking monster 8-year-old who's just like so good. But yeah, it sucks in that regard. And then and it's very glitchy. I have to give it like my honest review. Like there are so many situations where the game where I lose like by a goal, or it's like tied, or just some fuckboy shit.
Or you hit the post.
Oh, bro, yeah, you saw with your own eyes. Like fucking, I hit the post like 11 times. It felt like it was so ridiculous. I couldn't score. And then I make like a tackle in the box. It's like clean, and then they give them a penalty. I feel like that happens almost every other game. Like I give a penalty on some bullshit. They just don't like me. Like I don't get it. Like it's super weird, but it's super glitchy. I don't like that in that regard. The old FIFAs that I grew up on playing, I thought were better personally, but I heard like EA's kind of been whack lately. Like especially with like UFC, those games have been pretty whack. So yeah, we'll see what other games are. That's another thing. If you guys have recommendations on sick fucking games, or or if you have any recommendations in terms of gaming, just let me know. Drop a message on the DM and say what's up. But like I said, more information will be coming out in terms of that channel. If you guys want to see me play, see if you can get a live stream of me reacting. That's probably the money shot right there. I'm always fucking bugging, like just getting mad. So if you guys want to see me just cuss and get mad all the time, you can watch me play video games. But otherwise from that, yeah, I pretty much covered what's been happening in my little world. The UFC going on this weekend, and then yeah, make sure to tune in. Make sure to get your bets in, get your picks in. And yeah, Thanks everyone to my sponsors and everybody that gets involved. Appreciate your support. And yeah, have a good one, everybody. And I'll tune in with you guys next week. Peace.